It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Movie Toast.
Hey, what's up, Toasties? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Movie Toast News and Reviews. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing great, man. Happy to be here. It feels like it's been eternity, and there's so many great movies I can't wait to talk about with you today, Dennis.
Oh, same here.
How you doing?
Good. I hope for those of you still finishing off your celebration of Mother's Day in the United States, maybe we can pick out a movie for you to watch together here this evening. So
Possibly.
you just have to see. You have to stick
And
around.
if you're listening to this when it's not even anywhere close to Mother's Day, welcome. Thank you.
Exactly. Don't matter.
And if your mother's
Invite your mom
dead,
over either way.
sorry.
Or don't. Yeah. Or
Whatever
just-
works. We're not telling you what to do with your life. We're just happy you're joining us.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. And I don't know. We like to start this show off with a little thing called news.
Gather round, folks, it's time for the scoop. Tune your ears in, let's join the loop.
All
What's the
right.
loop?
Yes, that is the song, folks. All right, up first. Oh boy, technical difficulties, folks. All right, up first, Netflix is changing things up a bit, folks. They're integrating a new homepage for both their TV section and their mobile experience. They hope to improve content discovery across shows, movies, live events, and games. It'll have a simpler, more intuitive design and enhanced search and recommendation features. The update also includes improved navigation with shortcuts and responsive recommendations to adapt to your viewing history. I like this, but I feel like out of all the streamers, Netflix is the strongest with their landing page, I feel.
Here's my problem. They're always changing anyways. Whether they tell us they're going to do it or not, I'm really fucking tired of it. Stop it. Like, just stick with an organization format. If you're working on the AI that suggests shows and movies to us, fine, whatever. Go do all that shit. That's always behind the scenes anyways. But my list, I spent so much time getting used to my list or my queue being like the third item on the
but I feel like it's not always there. It's like I gotta search for it. Is it up? Is it down? Is it there?
The second, sometimes I have to go to the tab and find it on its own like page.
Bullshit.
And then I'm really tired of. There's so many apps, not just Netflix. They're definitely not the only guilty ones. I just suffered through this with.
I feel like. Oh yeah.
No, what I was gonna say was the apps where I have to filter through like 10 lines of suggestions where you're showing me the same 10 things in each line in different orders.
Slightly different order.
Holy shit. Could you?
But I'll take that slightly over having to go to like a HBO Max and being like, oh, you got to go by genre, not by A through Z. Or
HBO is probably one of the worst.
You have like maybe Paramount Plus, where if you want to click on something to read the description and you're in the D's, you're back to the A's. If you're in it's like, why?
Oh,
how have you not figured out how to get this?
Disney Plus too. If you want to search by those categories, all of a sudden now it's just we're gonna throw you everything we could. There used to be that balance. I hate when it's like you had those early days of when Netflix first came to streaming. They had it pretty down pat. Like I remember when it was like the Xbox app actually worked really fucking well because your queue was always the second category, like the second line from the home screen. They had certain things where they would keep really regular. I'm really tired of my Roku app doesn't match with my mobile app. I get it. We're kind of at the mercy of all these companies and such, but at least acknowledge you aren't the only ones we're coming to for entertainment. If someone else is going to organize their shit better, sometimes I will watch the version of that movie that has commercials in it because it was the second or third thing to pop up, and I don't want to fuck around with going to 6 or 8 different sub menus to get to that same title. Like,
and it's like, even like sometimes when you're searching for something and you're spelling it right, but some reason it doesn't come up, and it's like,
yes. What? Or do you ever start spelling out? You start typing out the name of the thing you're searching for, and you get 2 letters in, and then you see, oh shit, it was like the 3rd suggestion. Let me just put 1 more letter on, and that'll totally jump up higher in the list. Nope. Yeah. It's now like 15, 20 titles down.
And now I'm having flashbacks to like Hulu. It's like now you got to scroll through TV, then movie. Like it's not everything. It's like you got to scroll over and look over. And it's like, fuck you.
I hate it. I hate
you
it.
better.
I hate it. Netflix, if you're going to do all this work, at least listen to the customer base. Get it right. So
yeah, be like Burger King. The customer is always right until they leave and you talk shit about
fresh.
Them. Yeah.
Right? That's
But not like Jarrett. No, that was Subway.
No.
Yeah. All right. Up next, another thing that's baffling me. Now, in order to vote for the Oscars, voters must watch all of the nominated films. Why has that not been the case this whole time?
Per category, right? It's you have to watch each of the films
sure.
in that
I
category.
Felt like it was all of them, but I could be wrong. That would make sense.
I believe it's because so if you're watching them through the app that the Academy provides, they get like it gets like checked off a list that you held through all of the movies available for that category specifically. Then that it clears through. No, I found it so funny, the feedback of like when this became news, people were like, wait a minute, people weren't doing that. I'm like, no, of course not. No one.
And the only reason Nora swept the Oscars last year, or I guess earlier this year, is the fact that it was the only screener to go out as a DVD. And you got to think about the fact that most of your voters are older and they don't know how to work the apps.
Exactly.
So just go back to wasting.
They don't want to have like the key code or like the screen that pops up saying I promise not to share this thing with anyone else. And then
even for screeners we get, sometimes you got to go through an authenticator app. You got to jump through all these hoops and remember passwords. It's like,
you have 15 minutes to watch the feature.
Oh, you can watch it once. If you accidentally exit, you might not get it back. And it's like, fuck you.
We've registered 2 IP addresses watching this. Fuck you. You're done forever. No, it's like, oh my God. No, I appreciate, because I think it becomes difficult in a world where a lot of people come up with a lot of ready access to films, TV and stuff. You think, oh, I didn't have to pay to watch that thing because it was available here. Well, no, you're wrong. Someone did pay for it. That expectation of I should just be able to watch anything whenever I want is bullshit. No, it's a product. At the end of the day, money was invested in this thing to be brought before you. Okay. If you don't want to pay to watch that thing, I don't think you should have the right to watch that thing. The people that we're talking about in this select group pay a stupid amount of money to be able to watch all of these fucking things. They should be held accountable to watch
this. Is the only time they're actually watching things, if they are. And it's like, what? And some of these people are already bragging about like, yeah, all right, fine, I'll watch them. And they'll just hit play and go fuck off and come back and next movie. It's like, come on.
So be it then. What's funny is the people that then want to highlight doing that, go ahead, tell everybody you're doing that. Now I think we're not going to be too excited about telling you what we think of that film then.
Right.
It's now that we're including more departments like the stunt coordinators, the stunt people get to then be involved in these conversations. Those people should all have just as much weight in their vote as everyone else. So I think it's good people know. Maybe that will wake people up. Don't just blindly listen to these specific awards ceremonies as to whether or not a movie is good, because there's a lot of
yourself.
Exactly, which is I think the hallmark of our show here. You got to decide for yourself whether or not you like this thing or not. There's always going to be somebody that says it's good. Someone will say it's bad. That's up to you.
And that's why in my reviews, when I kind of attack movies, I try to find the pros and cons. And even if I'm shitting all over it, I'll say it's not for me, but it could be for you, because everyone's got different tastes.
Yep.
And you should be aware of that. I don't know. It's crazy to me, but what are you going to do? I suppose they're trying to improve things, I guess.
Everybody should determine for themselves. Go watch the movies you are excited or interested in.
But keep listening and watching us.
Well, you know,
we need your views and listens. Anywho, after Ted, the series over on Peacock, became a smash hit, it was renewed, but they just announced that they are doing a follow-up series called Ted, the Animated Series, which picks up after Ted 2, and we're getting the whole cast back. We're getting Seth MacFarlane, Mark Wahlberg, Amanda Seyfried, Jessica Barth, all coming back and reprising their roles. And I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Shocked that it's taken this long. It's like Ted lends itself to animation. Think about how much money they're probably saving doing it as an animated show opposed to CGing that bear and getting these big name people on camera.
Think about the people that are starring in your cast, though. That's a lot more expensive to keep Mark Wahlberg on your set for past 10, 12 hours that day because he thinks he can do this version of this line better, or that's not fucking funny. I'm going to do it the way I think it's funny. And now you have to take all of these people are now getting paid to do this take that is never going to make the cut. Animation, they know exactly what is going to be on that screen. So I could totally see this as a much more cost-effective version of the same humor, the same comedy. Let's be honest, Seth MacFarlane, I think he knows exactly how to steer that ship.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
definitely here for that. And if you have those, like you said, the legacy cast, those voices, but they're all really reined in to the comedy and the storylines we're expecting to hear, I think that's a perfect combination. It's 100% within MacFarlane's wheelhouse too. I mean, he's been doing animation for what, 30 years?
His whole career, yeah.
Yeah, it's
almost all his life at this point.
It makes sense. So that's perfect pairing right there.
And I loved the prequel series. I can't wait for season 2 to come, but I'm now looking forward to this because I'll admit the second movie was not as good as the first, but after years of like not watching it, I watched it a few years back and it's better than I recall. But I feel like getting like 30-minute episodes of just wacky random shit could definitely play better than forcing a 90-minute movie beat by beat.
This is, especially after the first film, I feel like this is the thing I wanted to see was I want to see the shenanigans they got up to.
Yeah.
And all the years leading up to that point, and then all the time afterwards. Because these guys obviously aren't going to like break up. You know, this is perfect. Perfect pairing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of a perfect pairing, Top Gun Maverick director Joseph Kosinski is now set to direct a reboot film of Miami Vice. And it's being written by the writer of Andor, Mr. Dan Gilroy.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm not of the ilk of Miami Vice, the series. I remember the remakes fucking movie they had back in 2004. Yeah. And it was fine, but I don't know.
And that was post Collateral. So it was like, we've kind of already seen this version of Michael Mann. I didn't need you to like then piggyback yourself with an 80s TV show, which I do like. There was a period of time I watched quite a bit of Miami Vice. It is still pretty badass. There is a pretty interesting collection of actors and performers that came from that era of really like badass 80s TV right there.
Although, if I'm remembering correctly, there's a lot of like boat chases and crazy like action.
Some of that, yeah, some of that. And then you have.
I feel like this director here could be a good choice. Like I said, he did Top Gun Maverick, puts you in the cockpit, in the cockpit, and now he's doing that F1 movie with Brad Pitt, puts you in the fucking car. So I feel like we're going to be immersed in the action at least with this.
That's what I'm curious as to which direction we're going to go, because I think we've been informed by the idea of what Miami Vice is a lot. But then I feel like a lot of those same people aren't actually going back and watching Miami Vice.
True.
So are we going to get the like basically the predecessor to like the early seasons of Law and Order or like LA Law, where you have these very heavy, dark storylines set in the location where it's really all about the character actors carrying the weight of the performance. And that's what's putting you into the place. And then you had the epic music, and then you had the very interesting cinematography. Liam Neeson playing a movie director in a season of Miami Vice. Oh, great. Man. Like, you know, it's like they because they weren't in on the joke yet. It was just what it was. Now coming at it after the fact, it's one of those things. It's like hearing about them doing this remake for Bullet. Bullet didn't know it was Bullet.
Boundaries.
Miami Vice didn't know it was Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Making it now, it's like, okay, I'm curious, but by no means would I ever hold my breath.
Fair enough. All right. I get that. Speaking of reboots and whatnot, there is finally an update on Chad Stahelski, the director of John Wick's, his remake of Highlander starring Henry Cavill. He just said that they're going to be shooting in September, and hopefully it'll be in cinemas by 2027, 2028. I don't know. I'm not a giant Highlander fan, but I feel like this group of people coming together could be fun.
I just want to hear a deep Henry Cavill, fucking Witcher. Okay. It's like, yeah. There's another one. I'm like, oh, all right. I guess it makes sense. I think we're in the age group, the people who are just like a half generation ahead of like you and I. Mm-hmm. These are the titles. These are the things you get excited about. And I don't know, but when you go back and watch, I've only seen the original Highlander, and it's been a few years. But it was so visually striking, and it was so intense. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, it's still kind of cool looking from my memories. You don't hear about anyone else hooking up fucking swords to car batteries for a badass fucking two-handed sword fight. But all right, it's kind of the same deal. I just didn't watch this nearly as much as the last title we talked about.
I'm with you.
7 movies. Right. Okay, good luck.
Yeah. Well, no. This is the 7th movie in the franchise. Oh, they're not aiming for 7. Sorry. Yes. My apologies. All right. Well, I got something that I promise you'll be excited about, Dennis. Roadhouse 2. Oh, I know you loved Amazon's Roadhouse, because that starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Awesome. Yes. Well, of course, we knew that Doug Liman, the director of the reboot, wasn't going to come back because he was very vocal about the fact that he was pissed off that he was promised a theatrical release and then it was shelved and just put over on Amazon. But they found an unlikely director to join forces here. They're bringing Guy Ritchie to direct this. I don't get that. He is not the guy I want to see do a movie like this. It's out of his.
Come on, man! Isn't Roadhouse a fucking
British
45-minute slow burn until someone's face gets fucking shot off violently in a close-up at some point?
You say that, but now I want to fucking see that. If that's what we're getting here, I would love the fuck out of this. I didn't love the last movie that much, but that sounds like a good movie, man. You should write this.
You know what? I think you and I would write a better sequel than. No offense, Guy, but you didn't write it, so I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna worry about defending you.
Right?
Jesus Christ, I can't believe. I think too many people were just too curious about what the fuck the first movie looked like that they had to go and check it out, and their parents came over. Oh yeah, I like Roadhouse. This isn't.
I mean, it was one of the biggest movies on Amazon somehow. Once again, a movie we both hated that everyone loved. This is like the second time that's happened, and sequels have spun out. Talking about you, Vacation Friends.
Isn't the biggest movie on Amazon kind of like
nothing?
I don't know.
They say that for every movie.
The best shitty fucking hot dog you've ever eaten in your life. Like, oh, this is the best fucking piece of shit you could eat out of the dirt you could ever find. Oh, that's good. Do I want to do that to myself though? No, I really, really don't.
Don't worry, Dennis. I will watch it for us. And if it is that movie you pitched, I'm gonna love it and give it 4.5 slices of toast.
You better.
Yeah.
Then I'll have to check it out too. So.
Someone's gonna watch it here. All right, moving on. Another sequel. Kevin Smith is now on tour with his film Dogma now that he has the rights back and the Weinsteins don't have it. And he's doing Q&As, and he's announced that he has started writing a script for a sequel. And it essentially sounds like the same movie, except now we're following the daughter of Bethany, the protagonist of the last movie, who happens to be named Rufus, named after Chris Rock's character. And it's all about her getting the gang back together and saving the day from, I guess, escaped angels from hell. And apparently Jay and Silent Bob are going to be split up in the beginning of it. I don't know. Will this happen? Probably not. We're supposed to get another Jay and Silent Bob movie, and that got canceled. Supposed to get another fucking Mallrats movie. That never happened, but God bless them. I'll watch it.
Do you think some of this is like Kevin Smith kind of trying to keep a hype train alive so that way when something does hook up, we can just put all the effort into whatever that title is? Now, I'd be curious. Did the road show come by you? Did you get to see it?
It was here 2 weeks ago, but it was the same day my buddy was getting a Purple Heart, and I'm like, I'll go later. And then I looked that day. I'm like, I'll go if it's available. I'll just dip out early. And all the seats were fucking packed. And I'm like, all right, that's life. Well, I'll see him in San Diego probably. But the movie is going to be re-released next month in cinemas for its anniversary screening. So, yeah. I mean, I got it on DVD anyways, but it'd be nice seeing it restored and whatnot. But it's also playing Cannes again this year. I don't know.
Which is wild to me. Yeah, there's a few things that are making their way in there that I'm like, okay, they seem to be a little more lax on their,
I guess so,
acceptance of film titles. But but I kind of get it too at the same time. There is definitely an age of filmmakers that were obviously informed by Kevin Smith. I mean, fuck. I mean, let's be honest. You're one of them. There was a style.
I mean, have I fallen off the bandwagon a little bit? But Clerks 3 brought me back, and I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm very
now
curious.
That he's kind of cut down, like once he got off the weed, now he's a little bit back to who he used to be, I think, and he's not trying as hard. But I think he also knows that nobody wants to see his original work, even though I feel like Red State and Tusk were some of his finest movies.
Yeah.
But he just wants to remake the stuff that he knows people will go because it's IP, and it's like,
I know. I'm with you there. I feel like it's kind of like, instead of stressing about the extenuating circumstances or what's informing your creative flow at the time, just listen to what you want to make creatively.
Yeah.
Don't fully bow down to what.
Through.
Yeah. The people who want to watch Clerks again, let them watch Clerks again. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, a lot of his career was like, let's go back and rewatch that movie he made that we liked at the time. That's fine. Like you said, Red State, I loved that when that came out. Tusk was
I just rewatched it a couple of weeks ago. It still holds up. It's gritty. It's different from what he's done, but it still has this humor and style.
Exactly. I think it's just, I miss that fearlessness he had at that limited window. But it seems like now that, I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's like, oh, maybe I don't have to censor myself, but maybe I am still going to a little bit. I don't. I'm not as big on this version, you know. I like if I want to watch it, like I want to watch something I know that's going to be that certain level of raunchy, but have a certain level of intelligence too. He nails
what
that.
I did like. What I did appreciate, I guess, when he was talking about it, he said back when he made Dogma, he was still kind of religious, and he was kind of bought into religion, and now he's kind of pulled back from religion, and now he can't write that same voice, but he can definitely kind of use his flair and use that new perspective with it.
Exactly.
And he may not be as young and flashy, but now he has more skills in his tool bag to make something that feels like his work, but it's a little more elevated. So I respect that, but
That's what I'm saying is like, instead of trying to adjust too much for the audience, just adjust to your voice. I just want to hear what you want to make, because Clerks 2 was the way it ended up being so wildly different than the other stuff in the way it told its story. I want to see that next step.
Yep.
So don't try to go back and recapture the thing. Don't try to make this bottled, contained version that's safer. Nobody wants to see either of those things. They just want to see what you're making, Kevin.
Definitely. All right. I feel like there's a lot of anger with us tonight, but you know what? That's the news cycle, folks. Speaking of anger, The Raid, folks, a movie that I showed you a few years ago, and I hold near and dear to my heart. The Raid Redemption was the first one, a fantastic film. The Raid 2, a good film. And now that the director's film Havoc has been out, he's been doing press. And he said he did have plans to make a movie that picked up right at the end of Raid 2, but so much time went by, he kind of lost all hope or interest in it. But after working with his lead actor from The Raid in Havoc, he kind of saw how he's matured and changed, and it kind of gave him a little bit of a spark of interest into doing a third Raid movie that could possibly happen. Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, those were great. Still remember you coming over, and I think we watched the first two together. The first time I watched them both was you coming over and showing them both to me. Awesome. Just fucking awesome.
They're a sight, man. If you haven't seen The Raid, it's insane to see essentially a movie set in one location and getting to a final boss and just getting the shit beat out of you and keep on climbing up those steps.
Yes. I think to me, it's, if you're a fan of like the Carl Urban
Dread,
this is a much more contained, much more visceral version of that with fewer special effects. There's still some of that stuff, obviously.
Sure.
There's still a lot of that going on. But it
didn't have the budget, but it was gritty and raw.
Oh my God, yes.
And a pretty intricate storyline.
Yeah.
I
so
respect.
Coming back to revisit it after all this time, I'm hoping, same with everything else I've been saying in this episode, stick to your guns. You've already done it right so far. Things like the means have only got better. So just stay within what you know you can do well. And I think it'll be another very entertaining chapter.
And that's the thing. The fact that he has been removed from it for, 15, 16 years? Well, no, maybe not that long, but 12 to 13 years. And he finally saw something that gave him an end. And he's not just cashing in saying, all right, people like The Raid, I'm going to do a third one. That's what we're talking about previous with Dogma. That's what you need. You don't do it because you can, do it because you need to.
It's not the Raid 3 in the universe of whatever police force, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's just, let's just have it be what it is. I'm totally with you there. Let's check it out.
All right. Moving on. We've talked a lot on the past couple of episodes about DC's Clayface movie that's being written by Michael Flanagan. But it sounds like things are a little bit rocky here because they're doing a page one rewrite with the screenwriter from Drive. Now, some sources are saying Michael Flanagan only did a bare bones skeleton version of the script that needed to be fleshed out further. And some people are saying he just lost interest because he's focusing more on Carrie. Either way, I don't know. I feel like going from a modern day horror master to someone who's done a very pulpy character based movie. I don't know. A little bit different. It's not going to be the same in my opinion, but I could be wrong.
You know, what's funny though, is I think I was a little more nervous with the last director in that, like,
fair enough.
What is it going to be? And my only hope is knowing how well the Penguin ended up being. I'm like, fuck, I really hope it, but I don't want to just that carbon copy. So it's like,
you want really something original.
Yeah.
But in that world.
Yes, 100%. Don't be afraid to just own the space you're in. Clayface is a very specific, not grounded character. The basis of the appearance of the character and his abilities are not something by any normal human means. So how that was going to work into the story, I was really curious about. So maybe this is for the benefit of the audience. I didn't want it to take itself too seriously, but then again, which Batman movie has gone wrong by only trying to be more serious? I think they've only got better when that's happened. So
although I will say I agree with you on that, but when you have a little fun with it, like Lego Batman, I had a blast. But that's its own genre film.
Oh, true, true. I can't speak for that one myself. I hadn't seen it, but
fair enough. But no, I agree with you. When we moved away from bat nipples and whatnot and grounded it in Nolan's universe, and then went a little further with the Batman, it's like, yeah, we're improving. We're stepping up. Does it have to be as dark and serious? No, but it has to be serious in its own light.
If we live in a world where things like the Joker exists, and that's a fantastic movie in its own right, doing its own thing. I guess that's my next question: is Clayface going to be its own standalone thing? He's just a criminal that lives in Gotham, and we're just not, and that's it.
Which could be fine. Okay. Why you don't always need to include the Caped Crusader.
Exactly.
As case in point, I don't believe he's in the Penguin. I haven't watched it, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to spoil it. But I believe he's not in that.
Like and you don't 2 or 3 lines of dialogue that reference him, and that's it.
That's all you need. You don't need to see him. You don't need to get Pattinson in that suit.
Your character,
you gotta know he's lurking in the background somewhere, possibly.
Yes,
danger could arise for Clayface.
Oh, totally. It was funny when you said Pattinson. All I could think of was the comedian.
Twilight. No. Patton Oswalt.
I just see Patton Oswalt and Batman. And he's just standing there in the cowl and lifting the cape up.
I'd watch that. Although I am enjoying, I normally hate commercials, but have you seen the, I think, State Farm commercials with Bateman versus Batman? And it's Jason Bateman, like in Batman situations.
No, I
haven't. It's pretty interesting. You should YouTube them later on.
Great. Yeah, I'll check that out. That's funny.
Yeah.
I miss out on the fun stuff like that when I don't have cable. That's
I don't either, but I guess I have adjacent things that have commercials.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
But they're definitely worth seeking out because it's like, oh, why would you get Bateman when you could get Batman? And they're showing how low rent he is and how he's not taking anything seriously. And Progressive, though, they take things seriously, like Batman. I don't know. It's goofy, but it works.
Cuckoo-ca-cha. Cuckoo-ca-cha. Is that how he...
I
stands
wish.
On the
get a little Bluth action. Staying in the realm of the DCU, we've also talked ad nauseum, I feel like, about Luca Guadagnino's Sergeant Rock movie, which initially was going to star Daniel Craig, and then he dropped out, and then our version of the Penguin was taking the reins over, and it was being fast-tracked. However, now it looks like the movie is dead because they wanted to shoot this in the UK this summer, and they just can't make that happen. And of course, they don't want to shoot it in the winter because they're going to be outside most of the movie during the night, and that's going to be cold as shit. So they're hoping maybe they can revisit it in 2026, but they don't know if Luca is going to be available or interested in doing it. And at this point, if you've lost everyone that was going to make this movie special, is it worth doing?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when aren't there a lot of other DC properties that I think they could probably get the ball rolling a lot faster? Nothing against Sergeant Rock, because I was looking forward to this story. But at the same time, it's like I think there's a lot of entertaining stories to be told from that world. I don't know. Maybe we'll see you soon, Sergeant, but
yeah.
Until
we're not gonna hold any breath. Although I haven't watched yet because I want to do a trailer reaction. I guess they put out the trailer for Peacemaker season 2. Have you checked that out yet?
Yeah, not yet. No, I was holding off on that because I didn't want to get too. I've been wanting it for so long. I didn't want to get too hyped up because I know it's going to be like another year. Like seeing the fucking Grand Theft Auto trailer. It's like, oh, good. Only another year until that thing happens. But, fair enough. Though. Fair enough. Though. If it's good enough, it's worth waiting. So
definitely, time will tell.
Yeah.
All right, staying in the realm of comic books, it looks like Marvel may have found their director in the Thunderbolts realm. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm going to take that back. Sorry. It looks like Marvel has faith in the director of Thunderbolts, Mr. Jake Schneider, I'm saying his name wrong, sorry. Because he did so well with the Thunderbolts, they want him to do X-Men. I'm sorry. That was the dumbest way to say that statement.
He did.
Oh man.
Okay.
But we're
no,
live.
he did well with Thunderbolts. They think he'll do well with X-Men. I understood that from what you were saying.
But it took me a while. I wrote it down and it came off very weird. I don't know. I'm excited because Thunderbolts, I'll get into later. I just am so excited to see what Marvel is planning on doing with the X-Men and the fact that they've had the rights for a while, but they haven't just shit it out and they're taking their time to carefully find creative teams behind it. I appreciate that.
I think there's a little bit of reassurance in knowing because the audience that would want to see an X-Men movie already has like 6+ movies to watch from this universe. Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, giving us more stuff like X-Men 97, which I know is coming back around.
But it's like, why not give that guy? They fired that guy from his own series. People loved what he was doing. Give that guy the shot to write and direct the movie. He deserves it.
Well, if they can get back on common ground and not be at odds with one another, then that'd be great. But yeah, that's not going to happen. But it makes sense to take your time with a property like X-Men because, especially with the X-Men and like any other fandom of this caliber, of this type, you have the people that are solely focused on the comics, people solely focused on the movies, people solely focused on the cartoons, blah, 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 that you're trying to appeal to so many people at once. Take your time to at least make sure you're making enough of them happy, like they've done, I think, with several other films. I mean, they took as long as they did with Wolverine and Deadpool. A lot of people enjoyed that. There's still people that didn't, but you know what? You're never going to... Especially a comic book based story, you're never going to keep everyone happy.
Right there, as you mentioned that's why I'm kind of holding this story with a grain of salt, because when that came out, they were all saying, oh, Sean Levy, he'll direct the next Avengers movie, he'll do the next X-Men. And it's like, I don't know. You can't always believe everything you hear right away. Sure, someone's a hot director for Marvel, but do they want to live in that world for the next 8 years or longer?
Especially when like they make this big hot announcement and then 3 years later, some other up-and-comer directs some incredible, just blockbuster action flick, and they're like, oh, fuck, no, that is our next Spider-Man director right there. Or whatever, what have you. That's just the nature of the business. So I never, I'm with you. I never get too excited when they announce this director's unless they say this director finished principal photography.
You can be in the middle of case in point, Solo. The cat's behind fucking some of the biggest movies ever, the Lego movie and whatnot. Those guys directed what sounds like a fantastic version of Solo, but Disney scrapped it and brought Ron Howard in to essentially reshoot the entire thing.
And then he didn't get to finish, what is it? From pre-production to the actual final cut, was that 4 directors or something they went through? It changed hands so many fucking times that it was.
And with movies like these, you have a hard release date and you got to hit it, and they're just like, go, 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 and you don't get the best movie out of that situation.
Exactly. I miss when, especially when they first started cranking these out, you did have to wait 4 years until the next one came out because it cost $100 million fucking dollars. It's as it should take time. It's I would rather higher frequency of lower budgeted things with better quality.
Yeah.
And then once in a while get these high budget, big tentpole projects that are just, mind blowing, eye orgasm fucking material. But take your time with
eye
those.
Orgasm. I like that.
Exactly. Just explosions all over your face.
Yeah. All right. Sticking with the thought of taking your time, it's been 19 years since Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock last worked together on The Lake House. But now the Speed duo are coming back to work on a movie that is going to be a romantic thriller set over at Amazon and MGM Studios.
Lake
I don't know.
House
I like
2
these two
Full
together.
Throttle. Oh no,
I'm intrigued.
These two are great. These two are great. Something tells me they probably have their own cadence on set that no matter what you throw at them, they're going to be able to adapt to whatever the story is, and then have their own language between each other and how you need to get the scene to where it needs to be. They've both made terrible movies. They've both made fantastic movies.
Yep.
They're very capable. It's all really about
100%.
the subject matter, script, and everything. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah. There's not much to talk about here, but it's just nice to see two people that probably enjoy working together coming back and doing the right project. Hopefully.
There's going to be chemistry. I'm excited to see. That's clear.
And speaking of chemistry and Sandra Bullock, they finally announced that Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman's Practical Magic 2 will be released September 18th, 2026. I know a lot of people love these movies.
Thank God.
These movies, the last movie that came out like 30 years ago. So I'm intrigued. Well, not much to talk about, I guess.
Still haven't seen the first one. Sorry.
I haven't either. It's funny. Right after they announced this, I was walking through my house. My mom was watching. I'm like, what is this movie? And I'm like, holy shit. They look young, but they look like they're owning their scenes. And there's like some CG in it that looks pretty good for its time. I'm kind of intrigued. I think I'll check it out eventually. I think it's on Max. So maybe
nice.
I'll watch it. Yeah. So, since there's nothing really to talk about there besides saying, hey, it's coming out next year, let's move on to something that really intrigued me when I heard about this. Story Kitchen, the people behind the upcoming Split fiction film, are joining forces with Toys R Us to make a Toys R Us movie. And the co-founders of Story Kitchen had this to say: as 80s kids who considered Toys R Us one of the most magical places on earth, we're honored to be partnered and create a film that will capture the spirit and adventure, creativity, and nostalgia that Toys R Us represents. And then the studio head of Toys R Us said, as Toys R Us first film, this project is an exciting opportunity to bring the magic of our brand to the big screen. I'm like, what? It will be a journey as boundless as play itself, evoking the electric sense of wonder that is the essence of Toys R Us. This story will capture the it sounds like we don't have anything, but we're promising the world.
Starring Jack Black.
Hey, I'd watch that, but
no,
it's
Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
because it's being described in the vein of Night at the Museum, Back to the Future, Big, plus other toy-inspired narratives like Jumanji and Barbie. And it's like, those are all wildly different fucking films. What the fuck is it?
What is, come on. Is Jeffrey going to turn into a human and learn how to fucking have a human dick or something? Like what is the magical journey that we're going to witness in?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm a cartoon giraffe.
And it's like,
oh, no.
All right, just give us a Jeffrey the Giraffe movie. I don't give a fuck, but don't promise us the world.
You've already said exactly what common, like, people with any sort of sense of direction would have. It's, you have nothing. You're trying to get us hyped over something that do you remember that time? I don't know, years ago when we were still in film school, that announcement of we're going to do the rest of the Milton Bradley board games as
Hungry Hippos. Fucking.
I remember we're in your car, like we're driving down like Ventura Boulevard, talking about what in the fuck is XYZ movie going to be? You know, other than the obvious
Magic 8 Ball.
Exactly. Don't break the ice.
Slinky.
Like, yeah. Like what the fuck are these things going to be? This feels like that to me when I hear about like, unless it's
forgot that Toys R Us filed for Chapter 11 and they don't exist in the form they used to. They're just like subsets of toys in a mall store, essentially. Like, this is something that should have happened in the 80s, in the 90s, not when Toys R Us is nowhere in sight.
You tell me there's a Toys R Us movie coming about and it's going to like talk about the journey of the story of the store. In my mind, I immediately see like a cutthroat Sebastian Stan. It's like, I've got an idea. It's for a toy store that'll appeal to all the kids in North America. You know, like I want to see the rise and crushing fall of this.
That would be fun to watch.
I want to know how you ran it into the ground while still honoring those memories as us, the consumers, had going to these stores as kids. You know, like that's that's something I would actually get excited about. Not any of those fucking words you use to describe, or they use to describe what this movie would be.
And who is this movie made for? Kids these days don't know the magic of going to a toy store. They just order shit online and it comes next day, it feels like. It was a special time. I don't think adults are going to be like, let's go watch Jeffrey get into some adventure. I mean, I will, but
I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
No. I mean, we can. It's just, it's frustrating shit.
Oh, totally.
But something that is fully fleshed out, A24 recently announced that they're doing a Death Stranding film, but they just announced recently that they're doubling down and making an Elden Ring movie. And rumor has it, Alex Garland may be directing it.
Cool. I'd watch it. Dark as fuck.
It's like, sure, let's get into it. This is a movie people want to see.
I would have thought they would have done Dark Souls first, but Elden Ring, okay.
Yeah,
from Software.
It has a fan base.
They're making dump trucks of money with the games they make, as well as like the companies who are making clones of the games they make. So why not? I will. To be honest though, out of the ones I'm familiar with from them, I never played it, but Elden Ring has a visual style I really like. I kind of like this sort of Plague era, not quite Victorian sort of medieval look to it, and A24 has already shown they can do these sort of medieval kind of stories and stuff. They've done it several times. They have more to come, but one with an established background with absolutely horrifying monsters and like just unlimited creature creation. I mean, if they run with it and really throw some serious money into this thing, it will look gorgeous. So
and in a world where the Minecraft movie made a shitload of money, this could even enter another stratosphere. I feel like older audiences can get into this.
Yep.
And kids are going to want to see something a little more risky. I think it could be a good match. And with a director like Alex Garland, he knows the shit.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. Like you're saying before, there's something about with the title like Minecraft, you're mostly pulling in audiences who are either familiar with the title or they know someone familiar with the title. With something like Elden Ring, you have the chance to just pull in a moviegoer.
Yeah.
There's a good chance they have no idea this is a video game based movie. And this is the title I think you could get away with just showing someone a fantastical medieval sword and sorcery kind of story. And it would look awesome. So
for sure.
Good luck, A24.
Yes. And folks, I'm going to apologize for this next story. Dennis, we don't normally dive deep into the world of politics and bullshit, but I just want to vent with you about this bullshit Trump
my God.
tariff on films, saying fucking foreign created films are a fucking threat to national security and putting 100% tariff on movie. What the fuck is this bullshit? Come on.
Because what is going to make people want to make more movies in the United States more than making it more expensive for us to watch movies from fucking literally anywhere else?
Yeah. And
that doesn't do anything for movies getting made here.
No, what you're doing is pissing people off, making matters worse. And then some fantastic movies that could have been seen are now never going to get the chance to be seen if this fucking happens.
And what's at the end of the day, what's still going to happen? The extremely talented people in the United States who are good at making films in their various departments are going to keep getting work in other countries, and they just don't get to show their work here. So fuck you very much.
It's travesty. Yes, bullshit. Being members of the entertainment industry, I've been out of work for almost 3 years at this point. And I want it to come back, but this is not the way to do it, man. No. Fucking bullshit.
It just goes in hand with everything else that's being done of seemingly punishing the exterior. Oh, because it's going to cultivate growth here. No, but there's no infrastructure for it to happen here. Solve the infrastructure here. Encourage growth at home.
Yes.
Offer better benefits for us to make films here. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen over there. It seems like
places are starting to do it. Like Hollywood's starting to open up again. New York seems to be doing it. So things are starting to happen, but don't force it. And then, of course, we have like the day after this came out, fucking John Voight, fucking what are they calling him? Trump's special ambassador to Hollywood has a plan to save it. but will anybody listen? It's like, what the fuck, man?
Well, no,
this
did you
still...
hear? This one was interesting because
makes more sense. Like it's about more of what we need, more incentives, I assume, right? For the most part.
The stories I read about this were Jon Voight has never really spoken to Trump at length about what the fuck his job title is, because it was like him and Sylvester Stallone and George Clooney, I think, all got
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Oh yeah,
crack team there, adding Mel Gibson in the mix. Yeah.
And all have been Americans this whole time, right? Fucker. They're all talented people in their own right, regards to the film industry, especially. To then just appoint random people without ever discussing with them whether or not they want to do this thing, and then
making
just
up crazy titles.
Them to, like, every state has their own laws, as you and I both know, when it comes to how money is spent and how it functions in regards to any sort of production in each state within the US. It's not federal. So for him to just blanket everything in that way just doesn't work. It doesn't exist.
It makes zero sense.
So it's more harm coming to an industry that's already suffering. Jon Voight, good luck. I mean, I can't remember the last thing I've watched with you in it that
I feel like the last thing I can vividly say, Jon Voight, was Ray Donovan, the Lee Shriver Showtime show. And that was
like 10
years ago, 13 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of telling you I was watching The Shield, that was about the same time. God damn.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's like fun. I don't know, man. Fucking the world sucks.
Until we appoint the Minister of Badassery, which I think will be the next announcement.
Yeah,
this is the fucking coolest.
Buds McKenzie, the dog who used to sell Budweiser, he's back, folks, and he's running America.
This dog has drank the most beer I've ever seen. It's good. You know it's good because it's American. Okay. Who asked for this? I don't.
Right.
Okay. Guess.
Just Grandpa's saying dumb shit again.
Great. Okay. Pat him on the back. Let's move on. Yep. Let's go. Let's get back to making movies.
Right.
Let's
get back to making this show as good as we can, and hopefully get happy once again. Let's get into a section we like to call polls. All right, up first on episode 213, Dennis, you reviewed a movie called Bullet Train Explosion. So I wanted to know what the Toasties' favorite movie based on a train was out of the following four. I'm talking Strangers on a Train, The Taking of Pelham 123, Throw Mama from the Train, and The Darlinging Limited. All movies, I want to say I've only seen one, maybe two of.
Now, which Taking of Pelham 1, 2,
Whichever.
3?
Even though the original, in my opinion, is the better one, I still enjoyed the other one.
It really is. Walter Matthau, I love that. Was awesome.
I just saw it for the first time on the big screen at my local Revival Theater a couple of months back, and boy, it was beautiful to see.
It has that 70s sort of just palpable tension that you can't really capture unless you're shooting on film in that aspect ratio. It just no
slight to Denzel or fucking John Travolta.
No.
It's not
a different beast. It's so much like that one is so much of the time it was made in. And I saw that one back then and thought that was really cool, which it's entertaining for what it is. But the original was great. Throw Mama from the Train, hilarious. I'm torn
Strangers
between
and Darlington. I didn't see.
I'm with you. Darjeeling.
Yeah, I don't know how to fucking. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I'm illiterate. So
Darjeeling.
I think I'm going with Pelham on mine, but let's find out what the Toasties thought. 0% for the classic comedy
Really?
Throw Mama from the Train. I thought it would be at least 25%.
At least, yeah, or a couple points. That's too bad.
That's a dynamic duo that we don't get to see too often together. 0% for Darjeeling Limited. That I could see. Makes sense to me. I never saw that one. Strangers on a Train. I didn't think we'd get as much love, but it got 33%. I'm happy about that.
Oh, nice.
Classics. Yeah. So 67% for Pelham 123. The Taking of Pelham 123. Oh, I'm just seeing that now. Wow. The remake, they got rid of The Taking of and just called it Pelham 123.
Is that not what's in German above it? Dein
It might
Führung
be.
der U-Bahn.
You know how hard it was to just find this version? And when I saw that, I'm like, I'm sticking with it. Look how cool
Travolta.
Cool.
He's got a neck tattoo. He's got wraparound sunglasses.
You know he's a villain because of that
this
fucking
is
mustache.
2004, baby. I loved like this era of movie too. It was just like it tried so fucking hard to be cool. That
why do I want to say this was Spike Lee? It couldn't have been Spike Lee, right?
I don't think so.
I feel like that'd be weird if it was. I gotta look this up. Sorry.
That's what we were talking about. Train movies. It's like I thought of
Tony Scott.
Tony Scott. There you go. There you go.
That makes sense.
Let's say it's another name where you associate with action movies, but I didn't want to bet on it too hard and then be wrong. But that's when I thought of like three other train movies that weren't on the list.
But I've done other train things in the past, I think.
True.
So I think I held back. What are yours? They're probably better.
What is it? Runaway Train. Under Siege 2. Damn it. There was another one. I had another. I mean, not necessarily a train movie, but a scene that's referenced a lot. The original or the first Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, where you have the final scene.
Also, he had a train in the last Mission Impossible as well.
Oh, yes. And then what's the one? What is it? 2 trains ago, where they did that whole two movies ago, where there was the train, or no. Which movie is this? You had the train where he had to shoot someone on the train car, and he had to wait until the whole train passed by a certain.
I don't know why I'm picturing that being that Will Smith on Will Smith movie, Gemini Man.
It's something. I think it is something like that. That sounds right. Well, it is a Will Smith movie. Trains are just a cool place to have things like happen. James Bond.
You know how badly I wanted to put fucking Thomas the Tank Engine's fucking film on there, but I didn't know what the fuck they call it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna stick to serious stuff like Throw Mama from the Train off the train.
Yeah, it's a solid one. It's a solid one.
Yeah. Speaking of solid, on episode 213, I also reviewed a video game film. So I wanted to know what the Toasties' favorite horror movie based on a video game was out of Five Nights at Freddy's, Werewolves Within, Silent Hill, and Resident Evil.
Silent Hill. I feel like I would say Resident Evil first, but those movies are just so like their own weird thing.
They live in their own stratosphere.
They really do. They live on their own planet that have nothing to do with the games. Silent Hill, kind of the same thing, but I remember Silent Hill disturbing me. I saw that in theaters when it first came out. And funny enough, I just watched I just watched something that had the lady that played the cop. She's in the last season of The Shield.
Okay.
Playing a FBI agent. So that was kind of funny that it was like she just is always like authority figures. But that movie just really cut me deep as far as a
really dug
horror
deep.
video game movie. You know, that was cool. That was cool.
And it's funny, right before we came on a couple of hours ago, I saw that they just announced that by the end of the year, I think they're releasing Return to Silent Hill. Hill, which is gonna actually follow the game more than where the last film was, because they released one of those weird spin-offs that didn't really work.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah. For me, it's gonna be this movie Werewolves Within, The game's very obscured, and the movie is just this weird horror comedy that took me by surprise. But let's find out what the Toasties had to say. 0% for the Werewolves Within. I don't know why I added the, but people didn't like it.
0.
People never heard of it, most likely. That's cool. 25% for Five Nights at Freddy's, a movie that really shook the box office a couple of years ago. 25% for Silent Hill. Like, just look at that fucking fog in that sign.
Welcome in der hall.
Listen,
I love
like
that
I said,
so
when you find a
much.
Sweet ass banner, you take it, whether it's in another language or not.
It's great. It's great. Thank you, Germany. But I did like sorry.
No.
I was gonna say the visual. No, but that's one of the things that honestly I really love about the first Silent Hill movie. Sean Bean, you can see him in a movie where he doesn't die. The visual styling of the film itself is very striking. The audio, the sound design for that whole movie, beginning to end, is gorgeous. It's unsettling, but meticulous. Every scene feels like we live within those individual moments, and it's not trying to make everything sound the same all the way through. Even though the dialogue was trash and you have a lot of mediocre acting sprinkled throughout, there's still a lot of cool shit to appreciate about this particular film. So
fair enough. And now I want to watch that movie. I feel like I haven't seen it since it came out on DVD. Of course, that leaves us with a 50% for Resident Evil.
I mean, I own movies. The first 3 on. I remember buying those from Hollywood Video used as they got tossed into the $5 bin every time. This was like the peak of me getting into playing the Resident Evil games because they were getting dropped onto the GameCube for the first time.
Yeah.
So I was all about that era of it, and I've drifted away, unfortunately. Well, let's be honest, the movies did too. Movies, frankly, have nothing to do with the games.
Making them when you thought they were done, they just kept coming and coming.
That god awful series on Netflix that I couldn't even finish.
Oh man, I don't think I got past 2 episodes. Intrigued by, but I just, you know what I will say? The last movie that came out, I believe it was called Resident Evil Raccoon City. I think surprisingly really good. I really dug it. No, live action. About 2-3 years ago, I think it came out.
Oh shit. Okay.
But of course, now they're redoing it with homeboy fucking Zach Krieger, like we've been talking, and I'm intrigued by that. That should be cool.
Yes.
But yeah.
If they were actually to go back and try to hone the movie back into all taking place in that mansion, the first game, just make that movie, that would be fucking
And I have faith in Zach Krieger because he's a guy who grew up when those games were hitting. He was the right age. So I feel like if someone was to make a movie, it should be like him.
Yeah, for sure.
And he has the chops of the horror.
But it's okay. We'll get another Five Nights at Freddy's.
We're getting it this fucking October.
So, yeah.
Which I'm excited because my main man Wayne Knight's in it this time.
That's right.
And then we're getting a slew of new cast added to it, and it's like, okay, cool. The first one didn't do it for me, but I had a good time watching it enough.
Maybe if we get more of the flashbacks from before, I want to see it crumble into the place it becomes. Get some of that 80s nostalgia or early 90s nostalgia. That would be fun to see on the screen. Big or small.
I'd watch it. I'm intrigued. Either way, I guess we should get into the final section of the podcast.
I think it's time.
Or night. The little thing called reviews.
Nice camera action, it's review time. Dennis and Adam, we gon' blow your mind. We're stepping up to the plate, ready to swing. Analyzing movies like a scientist would play.
Right.
All right. Up first, I have a movie called The Surfer. All right, Dennis, this is a movie about a man who, as a young child, grew up in a nice little house in Australia on the edge of a cliff leading down to a beautiful Australian beach. And of course, that child was plucked away and moved to America. And he always wanted to go back and live in that house. And now that house is for sale and he has the money and he's ready to buy that house. So he goes to Australia ready to make his dreams happen. But when he gets there, there's a bit of a mix-up, and the bank's kind of dragging their feet a bit. And all our guy wants to do is move in there. And he decides he's just going to surf, and he's going to camp out in his car at the beach until he signs the paper to buy that house. But there's like this local surfing group, some might say a gang, or possibly even a religious style cult of surfing, and they don't like outsiders. And even if he tells them, hey man, I grew up here, they don't want him here, and they fuck with him nonstop. They make his life a living hell. They make, oh my God, they make him question everything and lose his, they make him lose his sanity. This goes from a nice businessman to essentially a homeless man who has nothing and his mind is lost and everyone thinks he's crazy. And you're wondering, wait, is he a homeless guy? Is everything we saw like bullshit? You don't know what to believe. This movie just spirals out of control. Nothing is predictable. And it stars Nick Cage, and he becomes Nick Cage in this. By God, it's a crazy film. I went in thinking, it's going to be a mediocre movie, and I left mesmerized by this film. The Surfer. Awesome. And for a movie called The Surfer, you don't get really a lot of surfing. There may be one or two surf scenes, but it doesn't matter because it's so riveting. Like the shit they do with the camera, the score, and like the way they show the fucking Australian sun beating down on Nick Cage and just destroying him. And by God, of course, he tries to talk to these cats and they don't want any part of it. He goes to the police and they don't want to fucking help him because the head of this group is this guy whose family is really rich and they kind of have the cops in their pocket. And oh man, it's a fantastic movie. I'm giving The Surfer 3 slices of toast. Nice, if you want to see Nick Cage in a Nick Cage movie in a weird situation, this is the one for you, I think, folks.
I'm sorry, how many slices you giving that?
Trez, 3.
3. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Why not 3.5? Why not 4? I don't know. Fucking watch it and tell me. Maybe
didn't quite feel like it though. I was really curious about this one. I know I've been seeing a lot of like hyped up things, especially about Cage's performance. And there's a couple of clips I know out of context. Seemed very shocking that they just kind of seemed to just let him run and just cage it the fuck up. Which I like, dude, that. That's...
When me and my buddy Eddie went to see fucking that fucking Coppola movie, they played the trailer for this, or maybe it was the Minecraft. Either way, there's a scene in this trailer where Nick Cage is forcing someone to fucking eat a rat, and he's like, eat the rat, and it's like, what the fuck is this? I have to see this. Yeah, mesmerized.
That was one of the clips I saw too of the explanation of where that came from. I'm like, that doesn't inform anything. Oh my God. Now I really want to see this.
Like what I've told you barely scratches the surface because it's like, but it's trippy. It deals with toxic masculinity. It's just so much. There's so much happening. And I believe it's only like 90 minutes, but it feels long because you're living in this nightmare that Nick Cage is in. And it's immersive.
Cage Man.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Love it.
All right, man. You got a movie that I reviewed a few episodes ago, and I was very intrigued to see what you would think of it. So I can't wait to hear about it, man.
Yes. This is a little flick that Adam reviewed a little bit back called Black Bag. It's currently available on Peacock for streaming, as well as other places if you need to pay for a rental or what have you. But this is about a couple played by Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett, that they work for the same sort of Secret Service branch of the government. And they kind of acknowledge they work in different departments at the same place. They have to keep a work personal life balance, but at the same time, they will always have each other's backs. And when they catch themselves both tied into the same uneasy situation of state secrets being sold, and they kind of suspect one another, as well as other coworkers around them, they both are trying to figure out who's done what here. Now, it's an espionage sort of mystery thriller that's happening here. There's definitely some jokes in here. There's some comedy that happens here. I was not expecting that. I was able to laugh out loud. There were some awesome, like the few scenes of action that occur where I was very surprised by, and it looked awesome. It is shot beautifully and some incredible locations. The sets, I think, just look very stellar, pristine, kind of what you would imagine sort of like a government espionage sort of office would look like, where of course they need a certain amount of efficiency, but at the same time they're limited by budget in some cases. It's got a sense of style that is both very sexy but reserved, that holds like throughout the entire film, both visually, in the dialogue, in the way the performances are portrayed on screen. The music comes in just the right moments. I loved this movie. I feel like I haven't seen in a long time. I feel like usually when I watch a movie that follows this pace, because it is a slow burn in a certain context. It's a tense movie all the way through. Only 90 minutes. It moves really fast, in my opinion, even though it's extremely dialogue heavy. And it's, like I said, it's not like you're seeing action in every scene, but that's not the point. The point is the tension and the weight of what's being discussed and what's happening. And that's where I think this movie works so goddamn well. It looks gorgeous, and I can feel the gravity of every moment leading into the next. And I think this is what really kept me glued to the screen. And it's fun to see another actor we're used to seeing in a spy context. Pierce Brosnan, he's only in a couple scenes, but damn, I mean, he owns the fuck out of it. As well as the rest of the supporting cast, they all own their characters as far as what individual jobs they hold, as being like several of them are former SAS members. All of them are now like spies in their own right. But goddamn, I love the pacing of this thing. I love the look of it. I couldn't look away, and I was intrigued every step of the way. Nice. I love this thing. It's the only thing. I want to say it slowed down a little, but only barely. Like, it really didn't that much. It kept the pace it set almost entirely from the beginning until the very end, where it just hits the gas real quick before it ends. And I love this. I was vaguely intrigued by it. I saw who was in it. I'm like, that's gonna be cool. I remember your comments. I was like, all right, I definitely want to check it out. But goddamn, this is something that I miss watching, this kind of movie.
Like an adult thriller.
Yes. Where I don't need the popcorn motorcycles jumping over helicopters and blowing up fucking satellites and shit. You could just as well be doing all those types of things. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But this movie is a great example of what you can accomplish without any of that in your movie. And I was riveted from beginning to end. So, Black Bag over on Peacock at the moment. I'm going to give it 3.5 slices. I was all in with this thing. And I feel like I overhyped it, but it's just hit the perfect keystroke. Like, it just did all of the things in just the right pacing, just the right tone. I had a great time.
And the characters were all so finely fleshed out. They all had their unique styles and senses and cadences, and they all jived kind of differently with one another in a beautiful way. And there's a mystery. You don't really know who to trust or who not to trust.
Exactly.
You're questioning things.
I like that went back and forth. And even when you think you saw the one side, you still would kind of like have to step back and question some of the pieces of evidence that would come forward. Now, I did remember one of the only negative comment I have for this movie is I feel like as adult as they handle the dialogue and the pacing of the story, like, you really got to pay attention to the dialogue. The only thing that to me they really held your hand with was with Michael Fassbender's expression. He'd have these moments where, like, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be a room full of the most kick-ass spies in the UK, and he's sitting there sweating bullets, not making eye contact with anyone in the room, whereas he's freaking out because, holy shit, I think this is the person that did it. I'm like, and no one is noticing he's like shitting his pants over here. And he, unfortunately, his is the only character that kind of does it, but I don't really blame him. it very much comes off as a script thing or a director thing. They really wanted him to show a lot of that stuff. And I'm like, I get it already. So as long as you forgive that, if he didn't do that, I think this would be a 4 slicer for me.
I can see that.
I just think they softened it a little too much. If they didn't like easy mode that for the audience,
they didn't need that. They showed that this guy threw his inhibition and everything he believes in to save his wife, and then they're like, let's double down and really let everyone know the severity. And it's like
that scene with him. No, exactly. That scene with him and his wife in bed. Would you? I would do anything for you. I would kill for you. I don't care what the repercussions mean. I don't know. I don't care what that means. I'm telling you, this is what I'm willing to do for you. That's all I needed. Yeah. It was said so well in that scene, and it was so powerful. And I feel like there's so many people who just have a significant other. You feel that within you. When I saw him say those lines and look into her eyes and say, I was there with them. I was there with her too. And seeing her reaction. It was
thrilling to watch her. She owned that power. Like, I'm kind of always on the fence with her, but she was fantastic. She might have been the best part of this movie, in my opinion.
Yes, because she was the much subtler piece. Without giving away too much, I liked she's always the dangerous one. She's the predator lying in wait. And you're waiting for this like deadly cat to strike. This is the panther in the darkness. That's what a field agent is. They're usually doing really boring shit, dead drops and what have you. But this is what she was built for, just like he was built for understanding when people are lying or not. He's engineered for rooting out the truth from others who don't want to give it to you. And I love this is a man who characters.
We learn, I'm not even going to get into it. Like his backstory with what he did to certain people in his life and didn't regret it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't want to spoil shit.
No,
I'm just happy that I really dug this movie. I thought you were going to really enjoy it, but I'm like, maybe not, but I'm happy that it landed with you.
Dude. Oh yeah. No, it's I know things like 3 Days of the Condor. It has a little more action than this does even, but I love these or Spy Game. I love these espionage films that don't rely on it being like a James Bond or a Mission Impossible. The weight of what you're doing is enough for me, so I like the films that live in that in between space like this.
Another scene I love is when his buddy comes out to visit him while they're fishing, and it's like, oh man, what's gonna happen?
I love that tackle box.
Yeah,
just that old school, that metal. The props. By the way, another thing, I'm a nerd for set dressing and the art design. Their apartment is beautiful. Fucking beautiful, and I love the sets were gorgeous. Every location you could tell was meticulously chosen or designed to visually represent what needed to be there. But goddamn, it did every frame of every set just look beautiful. I loved it. Loved it.
Nice. Well, check it out, folks. It's definitely worth a watch. All right, I'm jumping into something that is a little less serious and a lot more action-packed. I'm talking about a movie called Fight or Flight. This is the latest Josh Hartnett film after his renaissance of sorts. All right, so this is about a Secret Service agent who is essentially on the run, and he's hiding out in Thailand, and he gets the golden opportunity to have his slate cleaned and told that he can return to America and not get arrested, essentially, if he takes this one case that is pressing by just simply getting on an airplane from Bangkok, going to San Francisco, and essentially capturing this elusive, ghost-like hacker that they call the Ghost, because this hacker has done some very shady things, fucked over a lot of people, but they don't know who this hacker is. So he has to get on a plane and essentially figure out who it is over the course of this like 16-hour flight. And that could be fun on its own. But this movie just takes so many other risks and twists and turns because he quickly figures out who it is. And I'm shocked at who it was. And once he figures it out, it's like, oh, where's this movie going to go? We find out that this plane is filled with fucking mercenaries and bounty hunters who are also searching for this hacker. And he has to keep this hacker alive. And as it turns out, now there's a bounty on his head because they know that he's protecting the hacker. And it just becomes this all-out warfare, badass, crazy, bonkers, intense fight scene filled with comedy, action, a little bit of drama, all on a plane. And they make so much use out of a compact little space. And I loved this movie. It was insane. Twists and turns, things I couldn't predict. This felt like Bullet Train meets the Belko Experiment. And I was on board the whole time. I knew this trailer came out, but I saw a clip of the still from it. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but seeing Josh Hartnett with like bleach blonde hair, wearing a Hawaiian shirt, it looks like he's gone through hell and back. I want to see this. I don't want to know what's going on. I want to go in blind. And I fucking enjoyed every second of this movie. It was a wild ride from start to finish.
Badass.
And I highly recommend, if you're looking for something crazy and insane and just brutal, and like it's kind of like a cartoon because there's all these different stereotypes of like bad guys and killers, and they all get different like styles of fighting and different weapons, and it's totally an unbelievable situation. But it's just so crazy and intense and awesome. I'm gonna give Fight or Flight 3.5 slices of toast. It's just crazy. I loved it.
This is one I remember when I was seeing the trailers for it. I'm glad you said it. Initially, it reminded me of like Bullet Train, or like something isolated and crazy, like a Snakes on the Plane, or I like the idea of an isolated story, but with almost comic book like zeal of just not being afraid to go over the top. Letting the cast really just shine and do their thing. Because I remember seeing the little bit of Josh Hartnett of just like, what fucking cartoon character is this he's playing?
Dude,
and I was here for it.
He is fucking owning it. He's having the most fun I think I've ever seen him had. He is just like, it's crazy. Like, and the stakes, they just raise the stakes higher and higher, scene by scene. And just when you think you haven't figured out, nope, we're fucking with you. And until the very last frame of the film, you're like, what the fuck just happened? And you want more of it. And I hope they do more of this world.
I added just pure curiosity, percentage-wise, how much of the film takes place on this plane?
I'm going to say a good 85, because they are cutting away to like the agency and people dealing with like, we need this person. And oh shit, you sent this unhinged guy on a plane, and now he has to like bullshit.
Like you said, there's a little.
And then we do see him in Bangkok doing some stuff.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So like, even you take a film like a Bullet Train, and it sounds like it's all on a train when it's like actually only like less than half the movie's on the train.
Yeah,
I'm this is definitely focus it. It's really there. Nice.
And they make good use because it's like a continental flight. You have different like sections and maybe different floors, and they make use of the whole plane. And the beauty is this movie is only like an hour and 41 minutes, and it flies by. And yeah, man, it did not let me down. I would even watch this movie again. I think like this is going to be a return view from time to time. Highly suggest checking it out.
Awesome.
But you got something that's blazing the charts on Netflix.
Before we get there, though, how many slices did you give that bad?
I thought I said sorry. I'm giving 3.5 slices of toast.
Shit, that's a good. Yeah.
Damn. I want to give it 4, but I just can't throw them out willy nilly. I guess.
Oh, of course, no.
Yeah. But like I said, you got something that's burning the charts over on Netflix, and I don't know anything about it, but looking up and doing the research and seeing different pictures and stills, I'm like, this looks pretty interesting. I can't wait to hear about it.
This was one of those I fell for the autoplay trailer splash menu thing. And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. They're talking in German, but like the editing style and everything is very westernized, very like Hollywood movie. This is okay. Exterritorial. is available on Netflix right now. This is telling the story of a German military veteran and her son are emigrating to the United States. The son's father had passed away in a military conflict that she had lived through that moment, unfortunately, and saw him pass away. And now she's finally she's decided she can't live in their same hometown anymore. We're moving to their husband's hometown in the US. We're getting all these things laid out, and she's going to the consulate in Germany, the American consulate in Germany. On her way there, or as she's inside waiting for her appointment and everything, her son goes missing. Uh-oh. And it's kind of like this domino effect of like, wait a minute, her son goes missing. Now she's getting doubted she ever had a son. Now she's getting doubted about this and that. And
one of those movies.
Your PTSD obviously made you imagine all of these things happening. We've got people being moved illegally. We've got drugs. We've got cross-border espionage. We have gangs who are laundering their money. All of these elements are stirred into one story. This one driving line of our main character. She's desperately trying to find her missing son, and damn, does this lady kick ass. Janine Gorzard. I don't know if that's how to say it. It's a German name. Holy shit, is she a badass through this movie. And the movie is so visceral, although it kind of is like a pretty not like a surprisingly written storyline. Like the initial plot is not like something that we've never heard of or seen before, but the way we deliver it and we are shown the elements unfolding is very, very entertaining. We get the energy, we get that action right out the gate. From her taking her son to the park, and a helicopter flies by. She starts going through flashbacks, and a group of young 20-something-year-old dudes are kicking a soccer ball around, and they actually bump into her, and she whips around and just about fucking kills one of these guys because she's just set back into it. But it's the very physical nature of the hand-to-hand combat, the way she's very just like hands-on with the action of it. It's shot very wide. It's not a lot of edits. It's not a lot of cuts. Ooh. There's a lot of long takes. And that was so visceral and so brutal in this movie. It's an action film that only has the most limited sprinkling of special effects that are the most basic of elements too. You only see a couple of guns ever get fired, and that's most of the budget right there, is seeing the muzzle flash. Like there at one point you see her in a car accident where the camera's following her from the passenger side POV as the van gets flipped onto its side, and you're seeing her go through the action of getting this thing tossed to its side as she rips her seat, like she climbs out the passenger side window and continues the fight. This thing was kick ass.
Yeah,
like I said, it hits the ground running. The story is intriguing and I think very relatable on a human, just family level. You're gonna do whatever you can to save the people you love, and this is what she's doing. The only thing that was kind of comical for me was there was a lot of actors who are playing Americans that are very much not Americans. There's several Irish,
love when they do that.
Brits, and a couple of Germans who are all trying to play different Americans throughout, and their accents are very fun to listen to. But if that's honestly the worst part, then that's the worst part. Oh no, one more thing. Having said that, it is almost 2 hours long. By the time you get to like the beginning of the third act, it just slams on the brakes and almost comes to a dead stop. That took me out of it. We're going from pulse pounding action, high tempo, boom, 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 one scene to the next, to all of a sudden we are living in the same room for the rest of the movie. That honestly is what took half a slice away for me, where it was just like, oh, you were doing so well. It kept its pace so well. And I loved the driving force it started with, but it lost all of that steam when it got toward the end. It picked it right back up for the finale, but before I could have done without how we got there. And I don't want to spoil that because that answers a lot of questions. The questioning of her sanity itself, that was fun as an audience member. You are really wondering that until the very end. I know you've been a fan of that sort of element in the past in other films where it's, I don't want the suggestion of, I guess they might be crazy. No. This is genuinely like, I don't even know if I should be rooting for our main character anymore because they've shown too much that could argue against everything that she's thinking. And I don't know, a lot of fun though. A lot of fun.
Nice.
Exterritorial, I would highly recommend. It's on Netflix right now. I'm going to give it 3 slices of toast.
Not bad. You sold me on it from like the get-go. I'm adding that to my queue, man. I'm checking.
I think you'd enjoy it. It's cool. I feel like you might lose steam about the same place I did.
Probably.
But even then, it was still interesting. And then the fact that I knew I was watching Black Bag. It was like, I know I'm going from one like sort of espionage-y, sort of military inspired thing to another one. So it was a fun bridge. It's a good double feature.
And they sound like very different types of the same coin.
Why exactly?
Tails.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Nice. All right. Well, I am going to talk about the latest Marvel film, Thunderbolts. In quotes, I'll say that. All right. So, yeah. So this is an interesting entry into the MCU. It's essentially about Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, who we've seen doing some shady stuff behind the scenes. She is now being investigated, and she could lose her job, and some shit could come out about her. So she's trying to sweep all her wrongdoings under the rug, tie up some loose ends, and that includes essentially getting rid of some hired assassins who she's kind of took under her wing and put into some deadly situations. She essentially hires them and tells each of them, hey, this person is essentially trying to screw me over. I want you to kill them, and sends them all to this underground area. And our characters realize kind of early on, oh, we're being set up. And then there's a failsafe that she puts into this situation, and they get to escape this very daring situation. And it's essentially, I went in thinking this would be like Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad, but it's completely different from that. So we're getting characters like Florence Pugh's character, Wyatt Russell's character, David Harbour's character, Sebastian Stan, all these kind of misfits and kind of quasi-villains who have to join forces and essentially get revenge on Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character. And especially once one of them is kidnapped by her and kind of manipulated because she finds out that this one character has some certain powers she can kind of use to her advantage. And this character can essentially be more deadly and stronger than all of the Avengers put together.
Yeah.
And so these guys, and they bond it with this character, and they want to save him from her, but she's pinning him against them. And the interesting thing here is I like the fact that this is more of a personal story, and it's not oh my God, the whole world's going to end type of story. Now, there's a little bit of that at play towards the end, but this is a deeper movie than that. This is about kind of a myriad of things like loss, grieving, depression, and how people handle that, and kind of the sense of family and learning to work as a team. And it's kind of beautiful. Like, we haven't had something like this in a while. This is a little more mature than most of our Marvel films. It's kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy, but a little more darker, a little more serious. Okay. But there's a lot of jokes in here, which is cool. Sure. And there's a lot of practical effects, and the fights are really fun. Now, some of these characters have similar things. Like we have, of course, U.S. Agent and the Red Guardian. They're both super soldiers and kind of do the same thing. But the way things are done and all these kind of people coming together, they all have these strong personalities, and watching them kind of mix together and kind of form their own group is kind of beautiful. I really dug this, and it's definitely hitting better than a lot of the previous Marvel films of the last couple of years. And as we kind of called out earlier, Marvel kind of revealed that this is the new Avengers, and the way that happens in the movie is kind of unique and interesting.
Oh, cool.
And it's beautiful. Like the end credit scene, they already announced that they're the new Avengers, but like, of course, you get the title card coming up saying Thunderbolts, and then it rips apart and it's the new Avengers. There was like a little kid behind me, like maybe like 7 or 8, who was like, oh my God, like the mind was blown that like that just happened. I'm like, that's what cool. We gotta fucking see here.
That's what going to the movies should feel like. That's awesome.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. And one of my favorite things is there's a very fun mid-credit scene, and then there's a really, really interesting, longer than normal post-credit scene that essentially leads us into Fantastic Four in a way. But we learned some pertinent information that could essentially make matters a little interesting and difficult for this new Avengers group. And essentially, like I said in my review a few episodes ago for Captain America Brave New World, Sam Wilson has been tasked to put together a new Avengers. And he may or may not be happy about this new Avengers. And there's a very interesting scene that plays out.
Nice.
I don't know. Sorry. I'm going to give Thunderbolts or the new Avengers, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to give it 3 slices of toast. Definitely promising start to a new chapter in the MCU.
Well, nice. I know there's a lot of people a little nervous, kind of anxious about how this one was going to play out, but seemingly based on the box office numbers and reviews like yours that you just gave, it sounds like it's getting back to the excitement we expect to feel when going to see these films, especially when you take your time to make them. I did watch Disney Plus had one of those featurette things of Florence Pugh doing that jump off the Petronas Tower in Malaysia. Badass. That was cool.
Yeah.
And she really did it. Like, I love that they're going back to doing that.
And that's what I'm saying. Practicality in this movie and some of these fight choreography scenes were just phenomenal. And I will say something very startling happens in the first act of this movie. Not everyone's going to make it out alive, essentially. And the way it happens is like, oh, fuck, they did that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so I'd be intrigued to see what you have to say about this. I'm thinking you'll dig it.
It's on the list for sure.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I can't wait. I'm intrigued. I got one more movie to close this out here. I have a new slasher film called Clown in a Cornfield.
I love that title so much.
I was excited because this movie, the title alone is like, what? Okay. You know what you're getting into. It's not going to take itself too seriously. But it was written and directed by this writer-director who did a very fantastic horror comedy a couple of years back, a dozen years ago, about Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, this slasher movie that really flipped the genre on its head. And I was looking for more of that in this, a little different. So essentially, you got a doctor and his young teenage daughter moving to this small Midwestern town. And they're, of course, from, I want to say, Philadelphia. So, they're edgy and hip. And things seem a little bit off. This girl realizes the adults in this town, they're a little fucked up. Something's up with them. And she ends up getting in with a rough group of rapscallions, the town bad boys and girls. And it takes itself a little seriously in the beginning, and it feels a little cheesy. But then once the story kicks into gear, something happens that leads them to become hunted down by the town's mascot, a clown named Friendo. And this clown is going on a murdering spree, just brutally attacking and killing these kids in the most gory, intense, interesting manners. And it's schlocky writing. It has some funny moments. I didn't love it and I didn't hate it. It was just kind of a middle grade movie. I'm happy to see, I think people are going to enjoy it. I feel like this is a mid-range movie. You can tell they've really stretched the budget. And once again, I feel like there's some really good practical effects in this movie. So I'm happy to see movies like this being made and getting a wide release. Was this movie for me? Possibly not. Will I see a sequel if they make it? Sure. Does it need a sequel? No, it doesn't. It ties things up pretty nicely, I think. I'm going to give Clown and a Cornfield 2 slices of toast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay, but not as good as Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, in my opinion. Not as funny, not as sharp, not as witty, but it does have some twists and turns, and it does have some very strong things happening here, and some stances that you don't expect to, and point of views and things to happen in a comedy horror movie. And there's some really startling moments that I dug, but not enough to give higher than 2 slices.
I was going to say, I was surprised to see Will Sasso's name.
Yes.
On the poster there.
He is the town sheriff.
Oh.
The only 2 people I know in this movie is, of course, Will Sasso and Kevin Durand, a guy that I've talking about a lot lately. Like, this guy, two pretty fine actors.
It's one of the name sounds familiar, but I can't picture a face.
God, he has a face that you like. Kind of reminds me of Colin Hanks a little bit, but he was in Abigail, God damn it, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. If you see that guy,
yes, Jesus. Oh, yeah.
He's in so much.
He's in a bunch of things that I really enjoy. Like, yeah, God damn it. Oh,
and now those are the only guys that I really know in this movie. They're not in a whole bunch, but they are pivotal to the story. So it's nice to see them pop up.
Awesome. No, yeah. Absolutely. It's like you said, Abigail. I loved. Although he wasn't like the main character in it, the support he gave to the movie was fantastic and kept it entertaining, funny, gory. Loved that one. So no, like you said, I like the idea of taking a risk and let's see more original IP hitting the big screen.
I mean, this is based off a novel, but it's not like your big franchise. But yeah, it is more original.
But not one we've seen before. Okay.
Yeah. It's the first time outing for this. Oh, yeah.
So I enjoy the risk. I appreciate the risk. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad, go for it.
That's the thing. There was a lot of momentum built up for me because this premiered at South by Southwest a couple of months ago, and people have been ranting and raving about it. So I think it was a little too much hype for me. That
especially if it's like
it.
I'm curious how many other horror titles it was screening against at the time.
Yeah.
So if you're like one of 3 horror movies versus the 15 others that are indie dramas and comedies, then of course you're going to sound like it's going to sound like
But I don't regret seeing it. I like I said, it's a weird. I had a good time, but I was also like, I'm okay.
There's plenty of 2 slicers. I do not regret one bit seeing. It's just a matter of like how many more times am I going to see it in my life? Probably. There's a chance never
under the
again.
rug. Like I said, a sequel I'll watch, but I'm not gonna. Oh my god, I gotta watch it. It's on Max or whatever. Nah,
right.
Good. Yeah.
Well, nice.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Well,
we had a lot. This is a very busy episode, but I felt like some good conversation. So thank you if you made it this far, folks.
Yes, as always, really appreciate it. And what we also appreciate is any sort of extra vested interest you may have into the show if you want to keep following along. But I don't know, maybe you got a short film. Maybe you got a little bit of something you want to show other people what's going on in your creative space. You can hop on over to filmfreeway.com. And if you have a short film that is less than 15 minutes, please submit it soon so it can be a part of Movie Toast, the festival. This is the 5th year, the 5th fucking season. I still can't believe that. 5th season of Movie Toast the Festival. It is always a fun time checking out an incredible array of worldwide talent across any genre you could think of. There's no subject matter that we have not seen in this show yet. We do. We watch all of them.
And they can be obscure. They can be art installations. They can be music videos, trailers, anything under 15 minutes. We're going to sit and watch, and it could potentially be seen. And this is a digital festival. It's free. It's on our YouTube page for a very limited window. And the entry fee, very, very small, because we know you put your money and effort into making this thing. We don't want to soak you for it. We just want to share and toast and celebrate your films.
Yeah, and we want to have a fun time doing it. Like you said, it's an online festival. You'll be able to watch it on YouTube live when it premieres, and for a very limited window afterwards. Also, you can all keep your films valid for entering into the next festival, wherever that may be, because we know we're not the only show in town. So please join us in December.
If you're the best of the best, Dennis will make a golden toaster award and mail it to you, no matter where. He sent it all around the world. Yep. Like, nowhere's off balance here. It's pretty bitchin' looking.
It's funny. I've never written so many different kinds of addresses. I like finding, that's always an interesting place, is to see like how to write the address on a package to a particular like neighborhood in some country I've never been to. And
you're like, am I doing this right?
Exactly. I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm just putting numbers in places. This looks wrong. But no, it's always interesting, and as varied as the destinations the toasters may go to, as varied as the languages may be that we hear the actor speaking in. What's always the same is somebody wants to tell a story, they make it visually interesting, and it is entertaining to watch, no matter where it comes from. That's always true. Doesn't matter where you're from. We can always find something entertaining in a short film format. So please come join us, even if you don't have a film. Just come check it out and come hang out with us.
It's totally free. We're not asking for anything from you. I mean, to enter, it's not free. It's very little pennies, but to watch and enjoy.
To join, to watch the show. Please come check it out. You'll be notified to the specific dates if you follow along on our socials.
That's right. 2 Facebook accounts, an X account, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, and I don't know, other places possibly. I don't know.
Probably this many.
All
I don't know.
movie_toast. We're giving you daily news articles. We're giving you daily videos, different reviews that aren't on the fucking podcast here, clips of the podcast, links to where to find the podcast. We're throwing everything at you every day. As long as I'm awake, I'm posting every hour on the hour.
You're going to keep up to date on trailer reactions, and you're curious to see what this movie toaster right over here is thinking, then give it a follow and check it out.
Yeah. And you don't want to do that, or maybe you do want to do that. You like the show, you hate the show, you think something's great, you think something could be improved. We want to hear from you. It's easy to do.
Come on over to Apple Podcasts and please leave us a review. 1 star, 5 stars, or potato stars. I don't know. Whatever you want to tell us, how you feel about the show, we will check that out and try to give you the toastiest, most golden, buttery, delicious toast you can enjoy.
And we're not screwing around here, folks. We have made changes to the show to our detriment because people have spoken and we're like, hey, we want this to be great. We're going to do what we can. We want you to be happy with it. We
finally put clothes on. That was just a new addition. We didn't do that till now.
People paid us to put clothes on. We started in OnlyFans and we're like, we don't want that. Well, put clothes on and then maybe we'll pay you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. But whatever, folks. If you don't want to do any of that, or you did do all that, we're very thankful that you listened or watched. And hopefully you found a film or two that you can say, hey, I want to check that out. These guys convinced me. Or, hey, I'm going to stay away from that. Either way, we just have one request of you that is free and easy and benefits everyone.
That's right, Adam. Please, everyone,
stay tuned.
Toasted.
They're the kings of the real. Reviewing new movies, they keep it real. Coast to coast, from LA to the east. On the podcast show, they feast on the beast. Adam's bringing knowledge like he's Professor X. Dennis with cuts deeper than Wolverine's claws. I guess Marvel, DC, they know them all by heart. Breaking down the plot, tearing every scene apart. They got the juice like Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Breaking down movies with a sharp precision. Adam coming in hot like a John Wick hit. Dennis bringing the heat like the climax of a Tarzan flick.
So is it sad? I only just noticed the from LA to the east.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like there's the city of Los Angeles, and all of the East Coast.
Hey, coast, any coast, whatever.
LA. And all of that other East Coast bullshit.
That's the beauty of AI, folks. It knows geography.
Thousands of miles of coastline. Fuck it, it's all the same place.
It doesn't sound good when you say LA to some small town in Massachusetts nobody's heard of. And it doesn't have the same flair. LA to Boston. It's to
LA to Topeka. It's right. You can't say like Daytona, because then it's like, well, no, that's not really. It's kind of down there. It's not really over here.
It's a toughie.
I couldn't name a coastal town in Maine off the top of my head. Otherwise,
I mean, the only one that I can think of would be Portland, Maine.
Oh,
or fucking. I don't know if that's coastal. I assume everywhere in Maine's coastal. I've been to Maine. I've gone to Maine multiple times. I can't fucking tell you.
I just know I was in Maine. I don't.
Yeah. I'm in Maine. I've Bangor. I don't know. Fucking what's the hot? I don't.
Providence,
know,
is that Maine? I don't know.
Where?
Providence.
No, that's Rhode Island, Dennis.
Fuck. See,
who knows? Or is it? Maybe I'm wrong.
It's the Patriots. That's all I know. It's the Patriots over there somewhere. And even then, it's not even. It's over by you. It's not even
it's
up there.
15 minutes from the place, and I don't give a fuck about that shit. It just fucks up traffic if you're traveling down Route 1. Yeah, fuck it all. Screw it. You know what I've been thinking about a lot since we started this episode? What's going on with Tarzan's bastard son and his revenge from the end of the last episode? I don't know.
Oh.
Remember, we had a whole saga of Tarzan's seed. It was like flung onto an alligator. I don't know. He was hunting down. Right. It doesn't matter.
The alligator man.
Yeah.
Crocodile man.
Something. Yeah.
Crocodile.
I don't know.
Crocodile.
Timely chats here, folks.
Not
God. I'm excited. Next episode, we're going to have some big shit here, man. We're getting Final Destination Bloodlines, Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and who knows what else. I'm excited, man. Big stuff on the horizon.
There are big ones. They're all titles that have got a considerable amount of coverage up until now. So it's would you say this is the precursor or the beginning of the summer season?
I guess so. I mean, I've heard some people say we're already in it, and I'm like, it's too early to call it the summer season.
Just because we got a Marvel movie, it's automatically the summer season. No,
we're getting a Marvel movie in July, folks. That's the summer season.
Exactly.
Hey, whatever. As long as we're getting some fun things. Now, that's kind of the weird line. Like, I tried doing like 2 movies people might not have heard of, and then 2 that people have, but I saw more films than I've reviewed here, and I wanted to talk about some smaller indie things nobody's heard of, and I'm like, I don't know if I could just do all 4 things nobody's heard of. Would people be interested in hearing that on the podcast, or should that be its own? It's a fine line. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I like this idea of there's a lot of films where I think people are going to hear about. They're going to hear about Thunderbolts for like the 40th time in 2 weeks, you know?
Whereas, and that's the thing, when I put out these smaller videos, people don't care about the bigger things. It's the little things they end up caring about. But it's that's why I'm like half and half. I don't know.
Good. Come on, Batman, brave and the bold. If you're excited about, I've always said, if you're excited about telling someone about a movie, that's a movie you got to cover. Like that's, it's whether it's 100 years old or it's a day old.
And that's why I like this dynamic.
Then
you get more streaming stuff or older stuff that I might have slept on. And then like I hear about this flick that you talked about today, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta watch that. It's a good balance, I think.
I think what's funny is I think there's a good chance you'd probably like Exterritorial more than I do. Where I think you'll find aspects of it that I might have kind of glazed over because I was getting caught up in the action and the very visceral hand-to-hand combat that like the long takes and a lot of in-camera things. I mean, there's a couple of fights that they might have 4 cuts across the whole thing. And on these long hallways, and you have all these like, you go from very like constricted, confined movements to these very big things. And then I have things happen where I feel like it slows down too much for me. But something in there that you are.
Yeah, that's always nice when having that review that we both kind of have two different aspects of things that we can find. That's always fun to see.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And then I'm so glad I finally got to Black Bag. That was
like that's
I was like
one
10 minutes in, and I'm like,
I hope it's somewhere that you'll see this. Because it wasn't like go see it in theaters, which it was fun to see in theaters, but I'm just happy you were able to get to it.
Yeah. Which no, I'm totally with you there. It's funny, there isn't as visually appealing as it is. I don't think it's necessary to see it on a 2-story screen. You know, if as long as you're paying attention, that's definitely it's so subtle. That one has so much subtlety happening that you really do need to be honed in on that one.
Now, I will say, upside of seeing it in the theaters, less distractions. You're not going to probably, you, I assume, won't pull out your phone or pause or take a break, and which I do when I'm watching shit at home.
But you're also encouraged, even if you're capable, like you said, you're at home, you're capable of doing it. You could technically do that at a movie theater. You could step out if you needed to do all this stuff. But you're less
Yesterday, I went to the theater, saw 3 movies, had no interest in any of the 3, went in blind. I saw Romeo and Juliet musical. I was kind of like, fuck this movie. I'm going to go pee. And then I sat down on a bench outside and started doing some posts. And I'm like, all right, I'll go back in the movie now. I'm not going to miss it. But I'm not going to ruin the movie for anyone else in the cinema who's enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Exactly. Exactly. No. I'm totally with you there. It's that acknowledgement of the space you're in. This is what it's made for. You don't go to the fucking library with the boombox and start blasting fucking music in the middle of the.
I mean, people do, like, but
it's just wild to me that I don't know. To us, it's like a sacred fucking place is getting treated the way it is lately. And
I will say, if I'm the only one in the cinema, I'll do some stuff. Like I saw David Cronenberg's latest film 2 weeks ago. Boring, terrible movie, in my opinion. I was on my phone. I was the only one in the theater. Or if I'm in a theater, no one's around, I'm in the way back, I'll pull out my phone if no one else can see it. And I'll do a little text, but I'll still be in dark mode. I shouldn't do it. But as long as I feel like nobody's being affected, all right.
I mean, it's like I want to shit on that at the same time. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to see it, you know, it's like
but I will not pull out my phone if people are around me, and I won't be like I said, I walked out yesterday, went pee, posted a couple of things over on our fucking socials, looked up some stuff, moved on. I don't know. Sorry. Moving on. Speaking of that, we're almost at 2 hours. We're probably past 2 hours. We should end this bad boy.
We'll wrap it up for you folks. But thanks again for joining us. It was a lot of fun. As you could tell, we're excited to be chatting up some movies with you and each other. So thank you for joining us, folks.
Toodaloo.